Good to see you all. Thank you so much for coming through. Hey, I got Corey on camera today. Look at that. We're moving up in the world. Everybody say hi to him.
Hey, guys.
So yeah, we're setting things up so that way we can make things more fun for everybody. But yeah, we're here for all for the same reason, right? We're here to learn. We're here to mix. We're here to master. Today we're going to be working on a song by my man, ImReallyATRex. So that is going to be, let me just go ahead and show everybody. Here we go. So we got his Spotify right there. Check him out. What we were looking at is we got our session here. And today we're going to be working on the song Secrets Behind Our Smiles. Okay, so we're going to be working on that. I also want to give everybody a heads up about the plugin that I'm going to be using from time to time, the plugin by artisans.com. Yeah, so you can check them out. Looks like he's running a Labor Day sale right now. So if you're not sold on that plugin yet, you probably will be by the time you're done seeing me work with it. So yeah, let's go ahead and enough talking. Let's go ahead and let's jump on it. Yeah, that plugin is a beast. There's nothing like it, and I've been playing with it. You've been seeing me using it in the streams. You know, I've made my own variations on it. I will give you a little bit of a hint here, or a spoiler, I should say. There's something coming up in the future, potentially a hybrid stereo version of that plugin, but it's different, right? If you've gotten the one that we currently are helping our friend push, is because it is its own unique flavor, right? We have a binaural plugin that we can take things and make it feel like it's slightly off to kind of behind us, and you can then EQ it, and you can take advantage of that space and that depth that you get from it. So it's really cool stuff, and we'll get to that as we get through the mix. So let's go and take a look at our session, shall we? So here we are. We're looking at Ableton Live. For those of you that know me well, you know that I love working in Ableton Live. What's funny about this session is I asked the artist for a reference mix. So as you know, right, my two main components that I use when I'm mixing is we have the producer's mix, which is what resembles the multi-tracks that we're working out of, and then we have our reference track, which is going to be something that's been either professionally mixed and mastered. In some cases, I'll even use another project from the same like EP. Which, you know, I might end up doing that today. I don't know. I'm kind of like feeling just kind of going solo a little bit, freewheeling it, so to speak. Might do some of that instead. But either way, you know, we have that aspect of the workflow, right, so that we can kind of check ourselves. So we don't actually have a reference mix today. I talked to the artist, and he said, hey, the last one, and I didn't do that particular one on the stream, but he said the last one that we worked on, we basically nailed almost immediately. I think he had a replacement file for me, something that he had to redo and send to me, like a background vocal. But otherwise, he said that everything was spot on. So he trusts me to do this kind of off the hip, like using my gut instinct, and we'll see where it goes. So we're gonna do our best. Like I said, we may have to reference something from the project, I think, at some point. And yeah, we'll figure that out as we go. But we got a lot of work to do up to that point. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's our question. Yeah, are we doing mastering? Yeah, absolutely. So good. Yeah, questions about mastering are absolutely welcome. We will get to that point. First, we're going to go through and run through and do our initial mix. With T-Ray, or with ImReallyATRex, he's very versed in production on like a pretty high level. So the reason why he even uses me is because that gap between like where he can get the music and where he wants it to be for release is kind of where I come in. So he's even adding in his reverbs and his delays, and there's normally a lot of that that I don't have to do. So the mixing, at least in my opinion, I mean, if you're just starting out on this stuff, you're not going to think it's easy, but I will tell you, excuse me, Corey, I saw you drinking your water, and I think it like psychologically, yeah, I think it made me want to drink too.
Drink your water every time.
I'm sorry. So we'll have to work on that. But so the idea here is that the mixing process is easier when you have someone that can get the mix as far as he can get it, and adding those effects and things like that. So we're gonna get through it pretty quickly, in my opinion, at least in the whole scheme of mixed projects. I think this one flows relatively, or his projects flow kind of relatively quicker than a lot of others. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're looking at here in Ableton Live. We have our reference track up top. Remember, we got the reference track going to an output that is not going to go through our master processing. Don't forget that. Super important. You don't want to be sending this through something that's going to get like limited and EQ'd and compressed, because then you're losing what you want to gain from this, which is, of course, sort of a checkpoint of where he left off, right? Where the artist left off, so that way we can know if we're making improvements or not. So untouched from any processing. And then we have just a nice big instrumental subgroup and a vocal subgroup here. We can open those up in Live. Very similar to track stacks in Logic, or now folders in the newer versions of Pro Tools. So we have all of our individual drums here. And this is actually, I've listened to the song a couple times. We'll take a listen before we get started, but this is kind of my first time opening this up. So I got to give a shout out to Corey for organizing this beautifully, color coding it, things like that. So yeah, we can see our drums here. We got individual drums, kick, snare, hat, cymbals, shaker. We open up our bass group. Looks like we just got one bass, which is beautiful. Guitars, a little bit heavier. Okay, we got about, looks like, I bet one of you knows what a 335 is. I'd have to ask him. Is that a guitar? It might be an amp, or it might be a guitar. I'd have to ask the artist. But we got an acoustic strum, so we got a couple electrics here. Oh, look, looks like this is an acoustic. Cool. So got a few things, a filtered guitar. Yeah, so those are all our guitars. And then we have some keys. So we got 2 keys, piano, and then something labeled keys. We'll have to check out what those are. And then we have our vocal subgroup. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. We have leads. And this stuff is really useful. I just want to point out, if you are, if you're mixing projects for clients, there's a point normally towards the end. This depends on the kind of client you're working with, but a lot of the times people want group stems for the purpose of live performance or remixing. Like if they get like an EDM remix or some other type of remix done, these kinds of stems are pretty useful. So what I like, what Corey does here is he breaks up the leads into like a lead subgroup, and then we have a background vocal subgroup. And it's not that's uncommon, but we just kind of made it part of our normal workflow to set these sessions up. And it's really useful at the end when you have to bounce out those stems. Everything's already organized. And then as we see in the mix, we'll see some processing advantages as well. I see another question in the chat. Yeah, is my workflow so the question is my workflow easier in Ableton? Yeah, and that's, with Ableton, there's a workflow thing. Like I can't find, the main 3 DAWs that I like to kind of dabble in are Ableton, Pro Tools, and Logic. And I find that that Ableton, when it comes to making those stems for people, excuse me, is like super easy. You just select what you want. You make sure you got the right the right stuff in the bounce window selected, and then you can walk away. And like 9 out of 10 times, I'll even say 9.8 out of 10 times, everything works flawlessly. Whereas I've found in Logic, for example, things are glitchy. There's times when like a file will be blank or something like that. And unfortunately, that is just a huge waste of time, because then I have to go through and find other means to get it done, because I don't trust the software at that point to do it that way. So yeah, that is kind of something I've found with Logic. And then Pro Tools doesn't seem to do things the way I like. I have to kind of go through and solo and bounce. So it's a big waste of time for me. So I find that Ableton Live, not only on that aspect of it, is very useful, but also in the sense of creativity. We'll see today that when I bring up certain, I was bringing up that Artisan plugin, the binaural plugin, RL360, that plugin, I've created special versions of it to use, and I'm only able to do that in Ableton Live. Yes, you could do that in Pro Tools or Logic with more cumbersome routing and trying to be creative in that sense, but I just feel like Ableton gives you this really creative platform to make things easier for you and just help you kind of think at the speed of creativity. So I really enjoy that. And then we have one more question here. Yeah, that's actually really, really great questions, by the way. Keep those coming. What are the advantages of group stems? Oh, yeah, for live performance. Well, basically, people want flexibility when they're doing their live performances. So they want, for example, let's say they have a drummer and they have a guitar player and they have a bass player and they have their lead vocalist, but they don't have a background vocalist or a keyboard player. So what they would do is they would set up a live situation where they have basically every stem. They have the keyboard stem, maybe the synth stem, and the background vocal stem, and they would have that playing with a click track going to the drummer. And then the drummer would be able to play in time, and then all the stems would be playing with them. And then the guitar player plays live, the bass player, the drummer, and the vocalist, lead vocal, plays live. And yeah, it's super cool because you can basically have all the other stuff in sync. So yeah, good question. So yeah, that's a very common request from people, is to get mastered stems after the mastering is done. And I'm more than happy to help people get that so they can get their live performances, because that's a huge part of being an artist, right? So we got to support that on our end, on the production end. So sweet. Yeah, great questions. Keep them coming. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so group stems are like, imagine all the drums. So if I collapse this drum stem right here, this is what the drum stem would be. In at least in my definition. There's other interpretations of what the word stem means, but you just got to ask. If someone says I need stems, you got to ask them what you mean. You got to clarify what they need. But yeah, this would be, if I were to kind of collapse all these, this is essentially what the client would get. I would do this. So I would give them basically everything that you see here. They would get an instrumental, they would get an acapella, and then they would get drums as one file, bass as one file, guitars, keys, leads, and backgrounds, and even ad-libs, unless they request it otherwise. So yeah, we always work with people depending on what they need. Yep. Thank you for Corey's clarifying that for you. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the project. Let's take a listen to the producer mix. And like I said, the producer mix should reflect what we have in our multi-tracks. There are, of course, exceptions. We had a couple projects come through in the last month where we had to take some time prior to the mix, where we had to go through and match up a couple vocal effects that maybe didn't come through. And even in some cases, the effects will be there, which I generally like, but I just had a song where the artist was like, yeah, that one delay in the bridge is a little much. And I said, oh, okay, and I listened, I went, oh, those delays are on the vocal. I didn't add those delays. So they then sent me a dry vocal and then the delay as a separate track so I could balance them independently of each other. So that's kind of like a communication thing when you realize that you need different things. But yeah, again, the producer mix should reflect your multi-tracks for the most part, so that way you're not going too far back in your, you don't have to go too many steps back. So yeah, it's all about saving time and giving people something that's better than what they initially gave you. So let's take a listen to, I always have to remind myself of this title, sorry. So Secrets Behind Our Smiles by ImReallyATRex. This is the producer mix. Here we go.
I know the world's on fire. It's kinda hard to see life's purpose. From your perspective, is anything ever worth it now? I tend to get caught up inside the negatives. Flirting with the tentatives got me feeling sensitive. Kinda hurts a little. Just saw my brother Jake, he's up in the hospital. But he was smiling with an unbreakable spirit. All the nurses were laughing, shit was hella endearing. I thought sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me up even though no, we all got secrets behind a smile. And we all got demons, yeah, we all been untried. So we gotta keep on living for the moment. Call a friend up, telling your love and won't dwell on regrets. Miss me with your style. I choose to smile. just talked to mama. She said, what up, though? And that comfort ain't conducive if I'm trying to grow. She said, block out the noise, cause it's on show. Use your experience as lyrical ammo. She's sweet like Calypso. Word to David giving me clarity. Was singing through my problems like Mayor and Gravity. Now I'm connecting dots through methods of therapy. Grateful for the storm, new growth when you wanted me. But sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me up even though no, we all got secrets behind a smile. And we all got demons, yeah, we all been on trial. So we gotta keep on living for the moment. Call a friend up, tell them you love them, won't dwell on regrets. Miss me with me, your style. I choose to smile just when I'm feeling rough. Got to give thanks when the going choose to smile. People that care, that's enough for me. Grateful to those watching over me. Cause when I raise on my chest when I'm feeling rough. Got to give thanks when the going tough. I got people that care, that's enough for me. Grateful to those watching over me. I found sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me up even though we all got secrets behind a smile. Yeah, we all got demons. Yeah, we all been on trial. So we gotta keep on living for the moment. Call a friend up, tell them you love them, won't dwell on regrets. Miss me with me, your style. I choose to smile just when I'm feeling rough. Got to give thanks when the going tough. I got people that care, that's enough for me. Grateful to those watching over me. Feels like I weigh so much just when I'm feeling rough. Got to give thanks when the going's tough. I got people that care, that's enough for me. Grateful to those watching over me.
Nice. Yeah, good catch on the chorus effect on the vocal. Yeah, there's definitely a chorus effect. I actually opened up the track so that way I could see if we have a double, but we don't. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we got this. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. I am just thinking of anything else. If there's any last minute questions, what we're basically going to do is we're just going to jump in the mix. I'll talk about a couple things as I think about it, but for the most part, you're going to see me working in real time. We're going to see how far we can get until we feel that we are at that that 90-95%. Now I will say I do have a little bit of limiting already on here. Now that we if I didn't, it would be a little quiet for the folks at home streaming. So yeah, just a heads up on that. I'm not doing enough limiting to where it's really going to make it sound different. It's just going to sound a little louder. So I'm not doing any hard limiting, but we'll get there. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't know if my mic cut off there. I said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So yeah, let's jump in this. Here we go.
I tend to get caught up inside the negatives, flirting with the tentatives, got me feeling sensitive. Kinda hurts a little. Just saw my brother.
I normally like to break down my my mix into the instrumental before I get started, so I'm going to mute my acapella. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and mute. Yeah, let's mute my acapella. I'm going to mute all my other instruments as well. And we're going to build our way from the drums up. Remember, this is the console plugin I like to use, so I'm going to, every time you see me bring this up, I'm going to hit this one button. It's going to randomize the channel. See what it's doing right there? It's going to give me a little bit of an analog sound to the sound that I'm working on with this EQ. more on that if you have questions. Little mid-side EQ. Control some of that low end, but also give it a little width. Some low stuff in that hi-hat I don't really need. So yeah, randomize the channel. Clean up some of that low end in the hi-hat. Minuscule details. Let's hear those cymbals. Where you at, cymbals? There we go. Yeah. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with that stuff. Let's see where the shaker's sitting at. See if that snare's changing up. Is that all in one track? Let's see. Sounds like it. Yeah, we got different snares here in the verses. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we got the side stick going on in the... Oh, plus he's got like a reverbed out side stick here. Okay. So what we want... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split these bad boys. Let's see if we can make our job a little easier. Okay, so that's another snare right there. So I'm going to split these at the sections. So we got that heavy snare. We got that tight side stick. So I'm going to split it. Okay, there's another heavy snare. So it looks like we got, yeah, a little interlude action. Yeah, that's the tight side stick. Shout out to Corey for the markers. Definitely a huge help navigating through this. You can see why organizing the session beforehand is a huge time saver, because I can just go through and quickly do these. All right, that's good. Those are all heavy snare. What's this? Heavy snare. We got a heavy snare to the end. Okay, so I got three different kinds of drums here, or three different kinds of snare drums. I'm going to shut this off just for a sec. So yeah, we got like a tight side stick. We got a reverbed side stick, and then so that's our reverb stick, tight stick. Okay, I think we only have the reverb stick once. That's like in the intro. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll just make that our intro. Let's get rid of those guys, and then get rid of this on each duplicate. Then we got this one. This will be our tight side stick, which, yep, there we go. Is this also? Notice I'm using the word side stick, not rim shot. There's a little fact for you. It's a very like an R&B. I heard a really just like high level professional the other day use the term side, or he said rim shot, and I was like no, it's a side stick. So yeah, it's when you hear that clicky sound, that's actually somebody hitting the side of the snare. I see a question there. Just give me 1 second. Let me just finish off what we are doing here. Yeah, let me just double check this. So I'm just gonna just filter some low end out of this guy. I think, yeah, we already got that done, but that's with mid side, so that feels pretty good. Let's hear this one. Yeah, so because this one isn't all stereoed out, this mid side EQ isn't going to do much good, so I'm going to make it stereo. There we go. Yeah, I mean, what it was doing was basically good because it was the middle channel, that's a pretty mono sounding side stick. Actually sounds pretty cool with the... Yeah, it does its thing. It's pretty wide. Yeah, we'll rock with that for now. All right, let's see what the question is. Yeah, that particular EQ that I'm using, the BX console, that's, I like the analog aspect of it. That's kind of like, well, we can talk about that as we go through the breakdown. But for now, the breakdown of the mix, I mean. But for now, we are, we're basically just using it because, it has some basic EQ functionality. It sounds good. There is some interesting characteristics of the EQ that I like. But yeah, that analog sound does add a little width in certain areas. But again, that's we'll talk about that afterwards, okay? If you could remind me, that'd be awesome. But yeah, we'll definitely chat about that in the breakdown section. Now I'm going to experiment with this. Cool. Just give me 1 second here. I'm going to open up a stereo version of the binaural plugin, and let's see what this does to our drums. So let me go to my effects. Here we go. Sometimes this adds a little bit of a weird delay to the... Ooh. Yeah, I don't want it to make the hi-hats weird, but that might do something really cool. Yeah, that's a nice depth to it. I like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add some tape saturation. Let's see where we at. Virtual tape, baby. Just added all that low end back that I filtered out of the kick. Maybe add a little bit of drive to this. Go. Yeah, I like that. All right, jump on the bass. What's the question? No, side stick and cross stick are the same thing. So, yeah, good question. Cross stick might actually be the more correct term. You could be calling me out on that one. So thank you. Okay, so we got a little mask in between the kick and the bass on this. Probably doing parts of that tape plugin I just added, but I'm gonna go in. Let's see. That's the whole drum group. I'm gonna go ahead and jump back on my kick drum real quick. Let's take out a little bit of that low mid. Let's see if we can get away with. This might not be low enough. Yeah. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw on my Infinity EQ, a little bit more surgical. So I'm going to clear up some of the lows for that bass. Yep, there it is. Let's see. Yeah, that really cleared that bass up nicely. Now I'm going to experiment. I've been doing this stuff lately. Like, I'm going to go ahead and try. I'm going to try putting this binaural plugin on this bass. Yes, I'm going to do this. It's going to be fun. All right, I always have to remember where I put it. There we go, RL360. So always double check to make sure if you are using this plugin, just turn it on and off. Make sure you're not losing anything just by putting it on. Like, make sure it doesn't sound worse or like more narrow or something, putting it on. But yeah. Ooh. I find that putting something just a little bit behind your head widens it. A nice, like a mono bass or mono drum like this adds like a nice width to it. Yeah, see, without it, it's kind of boring. Now it's kind of interesting. Love it. All right. Yeah, let's jump into the guitars. Now, one thing I've been learning from T-Ray, ImReallyATRex, the artist. His name's T-Ray. But, he really likes to hear everything very clear. So if I feel like I'm losing any presence on any sounds from me adding weird binaural plugins, I want to make sure that I I give him that presence back because he really misses the, you know, like the punch of the guitars and stuff. So let's see what we got here. It's a nice stereo guitar. I'm not going to touch that with anything binaural. But we could get some nice depth using the Infinity EQ. Let's go ahead and use our... So we get it kind of thin right there. Pull it back so we don't get too thin. Keep the body. Yeah. Yeah, maybe just a little bit. I'm going to kick it into mid-side mode. I'm just going to give us a little bit of that depth. Nice. Cool. Yeah, I like that. We can add a little punch to it. Let me just throw the, I think I set these, and this is another thing, like, you know, about the question about Ableton, like, check this out. I mean, I got these presets to where I could bring up, like, okay, I know I like using the Slate LA2A, and here's like a virtual mix rack with the LA2A already there. Yeah, you can set up presets with Slates in, you know, within the plugin, but yeah, I just like, it's easy. I got my compressor folder, I got my preset already set up, so kind of already doing its thing. Get a little punch. There we go. A little attitude. Without it. Remember to gain match your compressors, kids. Yep. Make sure you're getting out of it what you want to get out of it. Cool. Controls a little bit of the low mids in here. So, balance back. We're not trying to kill any band, except for maybe the low stuff we don't need. Here in context. Nice. Next one. Nice little punchy guitar. Now, is this stereo? Not sure. Actually, I could bring up... I never actually used this one. Here, let's do this. Let's kill this and this. Let's bring up sound field real quick. Oh, that thing is mono. See that right down the middle? That means that it's mono. So we're going to go ahead and... let's go ahead and try our binaural friend. Okay, where's my RL? So I have it under my effects category. Boom. It's just a little bit off to the side, not much. Just adding a little depth. Turn it off. Kind of boring. But what I'm missing is some of that like impact. And for those of you that are already using this plugin, here's a little trick with it. I'm gonna go ahead and put my EQ before it. You can just with any EQ. Don't put it after, put it before. And then I'm gonna randomize the channel. So I'm boosting my high end into the plugin. That way it keeps that binaural effect strong. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let's group these. Another point for Ableton. Again, I need that tally up here so that every time something happens with Ableton, I'll just be like, ding. I think we're already up to like 4 points for Ableton. So I'm listening to the presence of the guitar, making sure I don't lose it. So I'm filtering out a little bit of low end with this guy. Cool. Don't need a bunch of that low end on this guitar. All right, let's hear it in context. Nice and clear. Nice. Next guitar. Let's move on. Woo. All right, guitar number 3. Where we at? Ah, there we go. Yeah, I'm missing a little bit of that punch now that I was getting from the lead guitar from this one here. Maybe like that punch that you get from this guitar. I'm gonna get some of that in here. It's chill, right? It's the filter guitar. Let's go ahead and just give it a little bit of attitude. So I'm going to bring up that LA2A, which is like great just for adding little punch attitude to your guitars. There we go. Kind of does it already for you. Notice I'm turning it on and off. Nice. Yeah, let's see if he likes that when we... Alright, we got some acoustic. So clearly he wanted the high end. That's why they sound the way they do. I'm going to bring a little bit of life into them without losing that high end. So let's go ahead and bring out our EQ. Soften the high end a little bit. Nice. All right, let's move on. All right, definitely some low end in there. We can... Nice. Yeah, that's nice. Cool, yeah, with the acoustics. Let's go ahead and jump on some EQ first. Nice. A little bit of our friend here. Yeah. Sounds like a record. Yeah, I do. Let's get a little bit of that. Get a little bit of the edge out of there. Yeah. All right. Keys. Let's see. Yeah, let's actually... free plugin, TDR Nova. Check that out. I'm not going to touch these really. Seem pretty good to me. All right, let's go and start with our lead.
We can't get above it all, but I got people that from your perspective is anything ever worth
Don't forget to
I
save.
tend to get caught up inside the negatives, flirting with the tentatives, got me feeling sensitive.
I'm actually going to try something out. Like, so I've been, for those of you that know me, SonarWorks is like a huge part of my workflow. I'm going to actually try something with this new Sound ID, which is the new version of the Reference 4 plugin that I normally use. I can simulate AirPods. I want to hear how the high end of his voice sounds in AirPods. That's what I'm doing right now, so check this out. Yeah, you're not going to hear the difference, but I am.
From your perspective, is anything ever worth it now?
Yeah, because I can hear now how the high end of his voice is clashing with the hi-hat a little bit.
Kinda hurts a little. Just saw my brother Jake, he's up in the hospital. But he was smiling with an unbreakable spirit. All the nurses were laughing. Shit was hella endearing. I thought
Beautiful.
sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall.
Yeah, back to high fidelity.
Let's
see here. So that was great. I was actually able to hear the high end of the vocal clashing with the hi-hat, which is super important. That was just a little bit of a roll off here.
Flirting with the tentatives got me feeling sensitive. Kinda hurts a little. Just saw my brother Jake, he's up in the hospital. But he was smiling with an unbreakable spirit. All the nurses were laughing. Shit was hella endearing. I thought sometimes if I'm trying to grow, she said block out the noise cause it's on show. Use your experiences, lyrical ammo. She's sweet like Calypso. Word to David giving me clarity. Was singing through my problems like Mayor times before. Sometimes we can't trying to grow. She said block out the noise cause it's on show. Use your experiences, lyrical ammo. She's sweet like Calypso. Word to David giving me clarity. Was singing through my problems like Mayor and Gravity. Now I'm connecting dots through methods of therapy. Grateful for the storm, new growth when you wanted me. But sometimes we can't trying to grow. She said block out the noise cause it's on.
Next.
Demons, yeah, we all been on trial.
A little low end going on there.
We all got demons,
in a good way. Just balancing it back. We don't want the lows of our bass clashing with or the low end of our vocal clashing with our bass. So.
That's enough for me. Grateful to those.
As you can hear, he's already got the delay on there. Control some of that low.
Got to give thanks when the going stuff. Got to give thanks when the going stuff. I got people that care. That's enough for me. Grateful to those watching over me. Feels like I weigh so much just when I'm feeling rough. Got to give thanks when
Go ahead. Another free plugin. Little whiff.
Conducive if I'm trying to grow. She said block out the cause it's on show. Use your experiences, lyrical ammo. She's sweet like Calypso. Word to David.
A little boomy. Yeah, let's go ahead and just control some of that a little bit. Now they're real quiet. We don't need that low. I'm going to trust that he likes that volume already. I'm going to leave those there. I'm not going to make them louder. Dope. You know, it's funny. He has that labeled harms, but that's really a lead right there. Yeah, because I don't see any other leads at that section. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my lead group. It's more like a filtered lead. Oh, I see. He's got a harmony there. That's why. All right, hold on. Let me undo that. I see. Okay. So that might be the only section where those are considered leads. So for the sake of control, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just edit those out real quick. And unless we discover otherwise, I'm going to assume that that was actually a lead track, or we could call like a filtered lead. So yeah, like filtered lead, like that. You got that edge in there. You can still get the filtered sound without killing people's ears, so. Yeah, and I got the harmonies on the harmony track. We're good there. Yeah, so let's see. Those are a little bright. Sometimes we can't get above, sometimes we can't get above it all. Sometimes we can't get above it all. Sometimes we can't get above it all. Sometimes we can't get above it. Sometimes we can't get above it. Sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me up even though no we all got secrets. Just got the low octave there. Sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional. I wonder. Bigging me up even though no we all got secrets. I think he's got reverb on there, but let's see if that's. Sometimes we trip, sometimes we he's got some stereo information on there. I'm not going to binaural it. But we could spread it just a little bit. Let's use Matthew Lane. Where we at? Sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above it all. Yeah, just a little sweeter. Let it sit. Bigging me up even though no we all got secrets behind a smile. Let's soften a little bit. Let's use a different EQ just for fun. Sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above. Okay, so let's see. We still got these ad-libs. I'm going to hold off on those for a second. I'm going to bump up the volume, so like watch your ears. Sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me up even though no we all got secrets behind a smile. And we all got demons, yeah we all been on trial. So we gotta keep on living for the moment. Okay, so that tells me things when that happens. When I start bringing up the volume, so now I'm hearing kick stuff. Let's go back to the kick. Sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me up even though no we all got secrets behind a smile. And we all got demons, yeah we all been on trial. So we gotta keep on living for the moment. Call a friend up, tell them you love them, won't dwell on regrets. Miss me with me, your style. I choose to smile just when I'm feeling wrong. Got to give thanks when they go. I choose to smile. You can go into our drums a little mid-side EQ. Sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional. I normally do it in stereo first. Even though no we all got secrets behind a smile. And we all got demons. So those are the drums. Yeah, we all been on trial. So we gotta keep on living for the moment. Call a friend up, tell them you love them, won't dwell on regrets. on everything. I think all of our guitars got a little mid-rangey there.
Sometimes we fall, sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me up even though no, we all got secrets behind our smile.
Listen to the guitars.
We all got demons, yeah, we all been on trial. So we gotta keep on living for the moment. Call a friend up, tell them you love them, won't dwell on regrets. Miss me with your style. I choose to smile just when I'm feeling rough. Got to give thanks when they go. I choose to smile.
Give the vocals all just a little bit of oomph.
Sometimes we trip, sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me up even though no, we all got secrets.
I think I am actually going to grab a reference track here, just something from, now you all can actually listen to this reference track, which is cool because it's not released yet. Let's pull up the one we just did, which we didn't do a stream on. It's called Future Ride or Die. So I'm just going to duplicate my my producer reference track. Still got that external out routing, right, which is important. And let's go ahead and bring this in. Beautiful. So this is like a mastered track.
Couldn't quite hold out, maybe the fault was mine. Maybe our bonds didn't match or the wrong cards in play. It's that thing they say, something about retrograde. I mean, damn. Secrets behind a smile, and we all got deep. Nice to meet ya.
Yeah, so we're definitely heading in the right direction. Something I might do, I might focus a little bit on the master processing now. We did a little bit of tape. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of this guy here. You know it, you love it.
Sometimes we can't get above it all, but I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me up even though no, we all got secrets behind a smile. And we like high, it's really meant, yeah, we all been on trial. So we gotta keep on living for the moment. Call a friend up, tell them you love them, won't dwell on regrets. Miss me with your style. I choose to smile. Sometimes we can't get above it all, but I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me up even though no, we all got
chorus here.
And we all got demons, yeah, we all been on trial. So we gotta keep on living for the moment. Call a friend up, tell them you love them, won't dwell on regrets. Miss me with your style. I choose to smile just when I'm feeling rough. Got to give thanks when they go. I choose to smile.
That's grateful to those
watching over me. With so much just when I'm feeling rough. Got to give thanks when they go and start fighting. People that care, that's enough for me. Grateful to those watching over me. I find sometimes we trip, sometimes got demons, yeah, we all been on trial. So we gotta keep on living the moment. Call a friend up, tell them you love them, won't dwell on regrets. Miss me with your style. I choose to smile just when I'm feeling rough. Got to give thanks when they go. I choose to smile. Grateful to those watching over. sometimes we trip, and we all got demons. Yeah, we all been on trial. Good dress, she goofy, but kind of in for the moment.
Yeah, not feeling
Call a
better.
friend up, tell them you love them, won't dwell on regrets. Just
See
be
those from
with
the
me.
beginning? There's something happening at the beginning there. We got to address that. Feels like a pop or something. Yeah, I want to smooth that out. I think that's in a guitar. Let's find that. He doesn't have effects on this one, or an effects track, I mean. Yeah, there it is right there. You. Yeah, just a little pop in the beginning. Let's smooth that. I think that would be better. Yeah.
I know the world's on fire. It's kinda hard to see life's purpose. From your perspective, is anything ever worth it now? I tend to get caught up inside the negatives. Flirting with the tentatives got me feeling sensitive. Kinda hurts a little. Just saw my brother Jake, he's up in the hospital. But he was smiling with an unbreakable spirit. All the nurses were laughing, shit was hella endearing. I thought sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. I know the world's on fire. It's kinda hard to see life's purpose. From your perspective, is anything ever worth it now? I tend to get caught up inside the negatives. Flirting with the tentatives got me feeling sensitive. Kinda hurts a little. Just saw my brother Jake, he's up in the hospital. But he was smiling with an unbreakable spirit. All the nurses were laughing, shit was hella endearing. I thought sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me up even though, no, we all got secrets behind a smile. And we all got demons, yeah, we all been on trial. So we gotta keep on living for the moment. Call a friend up, telling you love and won't dwell on regrets. Miss me with your style. I choose to smile. I guess when I'm feeling rough, gotta give thanks when they go and stuff. I got people that care, that's enough for me. Grateful to those watching over me. Just talk to mama. She said, what up, though? And that comfort ain't conducive if I'm trying to grow. She said, block out the noise, cause it's on show. Use your experience as lyrical ammo. She's sweet like Calypso. Word to David giving me clarity. Was singing through my problems like Mayor and Gravity. Now I'm connecting dots through methods of therapy. Grateful for the storm, new growth when you wanted me. But sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me up even though, no, we all got secrets behind a smile. And we all got demons, yeah, we all been on trial. So we gotta keep on living for the moment. Call a friend up, tell them you love them, won't dwell on regrets. Miss me with your style. I choose to smile. Just when I'm feeling rough, got to give thanks when they go. I choose to smile. Grateful to those watching over me. So I just when I'm feeling rough, got to give thanks when they go and stuff. I got people that care, that's enough for me. Grateful to those watching over me. I find sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me
That
up
vocal gets a
even
little loud
though
right
we
there.
all got secrets behind a smile.
Let's go ahead and treat that separately. Yeah, let's hear that transition.
People that care, that's enough.
Sound a little bit.
Grateful to those watching over me. I find sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me up even though we all got secrets behind a smile. Brother Jake, he's up in the hospital. Sometimes we trip, sometimes we fall. Sometimes we can't get above it all. But I got people that love me unconditional, bigging me up Even though we all got secrets behind a smile. Yeah, we all got demons. Yeah, we all been on striving. So we gotta keep on living for the moment. Call a friend up, tell them you love them more. With no regrets, miss me with the old style. I choose to smile. I'm not just when I'm feeling rough. Gotta take it fast when the going's rough. I got people that care, that's enough for me. Grateful to those watching over me. Feels like I weigh on my chest when I'm feeling rough. Gotta take it fast when the going's tough. I got people that care, that's enough for me. Grateful to those watching over me.
All right. Nice. Let me tighten up this.
Take it fast when the going's rough. I got people that care, that's enough for me. Grateful to those watching over me. Feels like I weigh on my chest when I'm feeling rough. Gotta take it fast when the going's tough.
So, how we feeling? Everybody good? Yeah, tape on the vocal. So we're gonna go through all that. I did some like saturation on the master bus and on the drums, but we'll get in that. Let's go ahead. Corey, hit that breakdown button. Let's go. Let's do it. Hit the breakdown. Here we go with the breakdown. And yeah, am I forgetting anything? Yes, that was it. Okay, super huge thing. We have, and we did this on our stream. We created a free thing for all of you. Basically, what's going to happen is we're going to give you a link. You're gonna shoot us your information, and then you're going to get a download code, or you're going to be able to get a link for you to download the videos of me walking you through the mix of Kavan Music's Late at Night. And it's a super like awesome R&B track. Great artist, great production. Like basically all your mainstream check marks, all there for you. So you'll be able to learn how to mix that genre alongside with me. And you're gonna have the videos, and then we're gonna give you the multi-tracks along with that. So you're gonna have the exact same multi-tracks. You can import into your DAW. You can watch the video. You can mix along with me, so you can hear and see everything that you're doing. We're also going to give you the producer's mix, so you'll be able to hear the before. Through the videos, you'll see what his reference is, so you'll be able to bring that up on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you want. And then what we're also going to do, I just kind of thought about this last minute, I'm also going to give you the mix session. So I'm going to give you my mix session, so if you're in Ableton Live, you'll have, depending on the plugins you got, you'll have everything that I've done, so you can actually go through and and actually hear the individual tracks if you want that were mixed. So a lot of cool stuff. It's a learning tool. We want everybody to get better at this. So a couple things I want to bring up real quick. First off, you can all, and I really appreciate everybody being here. You can check out I mentioned this before on the Colormind. I'm having a brain fart right now. No, your YouTube channel.
Oh, YouTube.
Colormind Music. There we go. I was like, Colormind Studios. No. So yeah, check out Colormind Music on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to that. You're basically going to see all the archives of the streams, and up to this point, we're going to do just the live mixing. So you can see all the live mixing. You can fast forward, rewind, train your ears up, like watching that stuff, see it in real time again and again, and you can sort of like learn better that way. So definitely subscribe to that. And I think I mentioned this earlier with the Artisans website. He does have a deal going right now for Labor Day. But once this deal goes away, you can use, and you might actually be able to use this now. I would say actually go and use it now. We have a coupon code for 10% off. So you got the Labor Day deal. Go ahead and do the 10% also. It's MBM10 is the coupon code. So yeah, go ahead and you can use the coupon code MBM10, or you can also use, I believe, Colormind10 to at the checkout to get an extra 10% off. And we'll have more deals and stuff for you as these streams progress, and we'll even have more plugins to show you as well, because we got more stuff in the chamber. Subscribe to this Twitch channel. We have exclusive content on here. All the breakdowns and everything are going to be exclusive on this channel, so that way you can go through and see all the explanations of everything. So check that out if you feel so inclined. You can follow us on Instagram, Barrie Music. You can follow Corey, Colormind Music, and as I said, you can DM us. As I was telling our friend in the chat, you can either send us via email, just link up with us if you want us to hear anything. I'm always happy to give people feedback, or you just have general like questions about things. I'll be more than happy, and Corey will be more than happy to chat with you about it. But yeah, so coming to these streams, asking questions, seeing the stuff in real time, checking out the YouTube channel so you can get more experience. As I said earlier, like sitting over the shoulder of a professional is a lot of how these big professionals learn this stuff in the first place. They sat there in a sweaty, smoky studio, and they watched these people for hours with the speakers blaring, and they just watched. They couldn't really ask questions. They sometimes could, but it was just watching and just listening. And that's basically what you're getting. So then when you get the free stuff next week, when you download that, you're going to be able to actually like watch, and then you're going to be able to work with the exact same tracks that I'm working with. So yeah, reach out to us. We're more than happy to chat with you all. Really appreciate everybody showing up. If you didn't follow the channel already while you were here today, please do that. As I said, follow us on any social media platform, YouTube, Instagram, and we're more than happy to help you all out with what you love to do. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming tonight. Check out, again, ImReallyATRex. He's got a lot of great music out there, and we will be back here on Monday at 7 p.m. And just watch my Instagram if there's any like pre-streams or anything I like to do sometimes, just kind of like last minute fun stuff. But yeah, hope to see everybody at the next stream. Again, I really appreciate all of you taking your time to hang out with us. We'll see you all soon. On behalf of myself and Corey, aka Colormind, we will see you in the next stream, everybody. Take care. Peace.